Yo, this is Redman in the building. Right now, you are checking out my boy, Mr. A, at the set. Talking about real life education, community addiction, and just real people in general. So, Mr. A, let's get this shit going on. Light your blunts, fasten your seatbelts, and squeeze on your girl titty. Ow! Mr. A, at the set is starting now.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whenever you're watching this. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Mr. A. Real people telling real stories right here at the set 6145. Today is no different. In the vein of celebrating what some say is 50 years of hip hop and others say we still have a few more years to go. I reached out to this brother who I find very interesting. I sort of found him on Instagram, and I was truly intrigued by his takes and his approach to how he feels about the culture. He also has a YouTube page called Carrying the Culture, and it also carries over to Instagram. And I felt that this conversation needed to be had because at this point in time, I've always expressed very strongly how I feel about hip hop and where it is right now. So when I found this gentleman and I listened to his videos, saw a couple of his interviews, I was like, wow, I think this is somebody I'd love to talk to. And that's what it's all about, sharing information, opinions, getting different perspectives. And I thought his background was interesting. He's dabbled in, he's been down with the culture from the beginning. So he's been a rapper. He's been a breakdancer. He's taught dance. He's actually, for a short time, was on the radio. The station was called WARP.FM. And I likened them to the days of 91.5 with Stretch and Barbito and keeping the music alive, the music that we all grew up with, and loved. And that culture, the way it was framed and how it should be, that's changed, of course, but he helped to sort of keep that momentum going. So learning about him, listening to his opinions, I was like, you know what? I have to reach out to this brother and hopefully, have a good conversation with him, pick his brain a little bit, and, share that with you guys. But before we start, I just want to say today's show is dedicated to the memory of Mr. Ismail Mercado and the whole Mercado family. May you rest in peace, and we're sending our love and condolences to the whole family. So we don't want to be somber. So tonight we're going to welcome to the show Mr. Tamal from Carrying the Culture.
Peace.
Yeah. Peace. Welcome to the show. Thank you for giving us your time.
Yo, thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate you reaching out and everything. Appreciate you trying to, talk some real hip hop. So I'm excited to see where we going with it. You know what I mean? So
yeah, this is gonna be fun. First, I want to ask you, because I'm looking into your background and watching your videos on your YouTube page. A+ and Brother J, two opposite ends of the hip hop spectrum, if you would. One, A+ comes from a group from out west who just created this niche of skill and swag, right? And then you have Brother J, who comes from a time right outside, I would say, the cusp of like Chuck D and the movement and enlightenment that he created during the early days of hip hop, right? Brother J was almost like Chuck's kin, if you would, like a cousin on steroids. How does that connection happen for you?
I mean, all of my connections with anybody, man, are just really organic online. I mean, A+, I met in 2017. Big up to him. He's out on tour right now. I met him back in 2017 and did an interview and told him, he was like, yo, come out to High Road Day. And I said, where we coming? And when I say I'm doing something, I do it. So I went out. He's like, yo, you came. And I said, I told you I was coming. So we've linked up ever since. And that's just my man. He's good people, good, and And so our show, Talking Crazy, came about just because two brothers we're all dealing with mental health issues. I don't care what you can call it, whatever you want, but we're all dealing with it. So, and he's been through 12-step program for alcoholism and stuff like that. Been very candid about it and everything. And he's abstained from alcohol, been sober for a couple of years now, I believe. So we just started talking. We were just talking, and we did a show. We had a couple of lives, a couple of interviews and just talks and everything. And he comes on about once a year. And so we did something that was just about like, we got into mental health on the thing. And my wife was like, yo, why don't you guys do a show on mental health? It'd be great. Y'all just talking. And so it's just a candid show. It's called Talking Crazy. And it's just two of us, two friends talking about mental health stuff, but guilt, forgiveness, anger, anxiety, and just how we deal with it, problems, solutions. Just being really, candid, sharing our experiences, any training or whatever we've gotten, or, whatever like that. Yeah, I got to stop for 1 second. Sorry.
It's all good.
My computer's about to.
That's not the first time this has happened.
Sure. And I pride myself in being not. So it's funny because I had to bite that one and eat that one and fucking fuck up. But sorry, first edit. So, but yeah, man. And then Brother Jay. So Brother Jay, I definitely wanted to interview him. He was, hero for me growing up, and so this 3 years ago, interviewed him, and we just had like a good report. I think I had him on twice, and then I said, yo, what up with a monthly joint? And so that's called Constant Elevation, and right. That's basically we talk hip hop topics, but it's Brother Jay, so we peel away the onion and really get at like some real issues and stuff, and we've had some great builds. We're on A+. We're on, I don't know, like episode 20 something. He's been on tour for a while, and Brother Jay, we're on episode 30 something. So, but here's the thing, because you said they're opposites in some ways. Yes, music wise, they may seem opposite, but however, there's two things that are in common about them. Both are men of high integrity. So both of those men, they're about growth. We have similar values as people, as men. So that's why I can have two different shows with them. So at the end, and they're both about the bars. Even though Brother Jay he's on on the pro-black stuff or whatever, and this and that, black and power. He's always said, yo, you gotta be, if you're spitting conscious, you gotta be nice with it, because otherwise they're not gonna listen to you.
Nope.
So, and then A+, how they get down lyrically. So there's still a lot of stuff in common, and that shows to me the versatility of hip hop, right? The wide, and back in the day, we talked about our ages. Back in the day, you could have on the same bill, EPMD, NWA, X-Clan, Public Enemy, JJ Fad, maybe. You know what I mean? And even, and everybody's rocking out, like, because we had that room for all of that. So similar, right. But different but similar at the same time. And both of those shows, I'm more happy about those shows than I am about anything else, because I feel like I'm actually able to give something back when I do those shows. I can talk music all day long and graffiti and shit, but those shows I feel like actually help. They actually help people, to me. So
they're a lot more impactful because you're actually reaching somebody on a level that's not entertainment.
Yeah, not just trying to top 5, top 10. There's, again, Flint still has fucked up drinking water. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So more important things as we approach, to have that 50-year mark for me, like to be thinking about. You know what I mean? So
absolutely. I think that, I'm glad that you said that, because I think that a lot of people, this has been my experience. I've been doing this show about 3 years.
Okay.
Right. And my approach has always been about separating, trying to pull people away from being starstruck, so to speak. Right. Right. And I always would say to myself, but this is what people want. Right. They want to find the commonality within the person that has done something great. Right. So I've sat down with comedians. I've sat down with, I had 3 Major League Baseball players on here. One who was a World Series winner, right? producers, cinematographers, visual artists, like people from all walks of life, to bring that commonality to say, oh, I know this person, but they've been through this or they've experienced this just like I have, making them very what Minnesota likes to say, regular.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
But the more I've gone through this journey of doing this show, I notice people don't want that. They want bullshit.
Right.
They're more attracted to the fuckery than they are to that human side of themselves. And that it's not that it's scary. It's like, wow, man, where the fuck are people? Like, where are you at in life that this is, your thing? Like, everybody just wants to do and be involved in that shit. It doesn't make sense to me.
Lower frequency shit, man. You know what I mean? And that's and listen, and we got to catch ourselves. I like my dumbed down stuff sometimes, but like if you think about it, like reality shows, just go look at what's on TV right now. So even back, we're close to the same age. Growing up, if we watch back in the day, the Discovery Channel used to be dope. The Learning Channel used to be dope. A&E used to be dope. Now that's all reality shows. Like that's all crazy shit now. Like, you know what I'm saying? The Discovery Channel is just full of shit. So so these types of things these are lower frequencies, yo. But like I always say, you can have the lower frequencies, but there's people that want this. People want it. So yeah, so they're gonna be providing it for us. So you got, my spiritual teacher used to say you have the cheaters and you have the cheated. You can't have someone running that Nigerian scam without somebody sitting on the other side looking for the fucking quick out. So so I feel like a lot of people, they want the cheap, they want the smoke and mirrors, they want the easy, the fast, the quick, the fucking the lyric that doesn't make any sense, but it's catchy and it's skid it. They want that shit. So a lot of people do it, you know what I mean? And so it's an uphill battle we're in right now, man. That's what's, that's the shit. The dumbed down frequency. We're just walking around just aimlessly fucking automatons, man.
I say that we're in the age of the microwave music because there's a song out like every other day and some new little someone or somebody from some area that's popular, like in Chicago or somewhere down south, and that person gets killed and and I'm like, the music, I understand. I get the old head reference all the time, and I get the you're just stuck in the 90s, but comparatively speaking, from a music side sonically and the pen game, those are things that I grew up on and I cherish. Where is that now? It's far, I understand what's controlling the radio is not those pen game rappers.
Right. So yeah, let's be clear about that.
Exactly.
So here's the thing. I about 7 years ago, I was like, fuck anything. I mean, for a long time, I was anything new, anything. I hated fuck it. I'm not 90s, 80s, 90s. That's it. But the thing is, I looked at it like this. I realized, and I started hearing dope music, and now I do what I do, and I get dope. I listen to dope music all the time. There's dope new artists, and there's older artists that are still putting out dope shit. The problem is this. You and I got so lucky that we were born when we were born, and we grew up where we grew up. And so we could come home after school and put on MTV Rap. So we could put on Video Music Box. We could put on even at the time Rap City. Hot 97 was popping. You could choose between joints in New York City. College radio, Columbia University was bubbling. So everything was, and so tracks were being broken on Arsenio Hall show in living color. Hip hop was everywhere, and it was the dopest shit ever being created. Like you could turn on Big Daddy Kane, ain't no half stepping like at 4 PM and watch this shit. So we were spoon fed the dopest shit of all time for maybe 10 years straight, and it was in our faces, in the b-boy and in the paint and the DJ and in the cutting and all of that stuff when it was brand new and it was fresh, and we got it all, and we experienced the art of digging and just looking for songs and hearing a song and be like, yo, what's that? I gotta find that, and going to Tower Records, all of this shit. We got spoiled, yo, and the thing is, I said we got lucky.
Yeah,
we got lucky because no one could. I mean, we could have been born now. right? Or you could have been born, so we got lucky. And now, this is what I'm going to tell everybody. As far as the music goes, you have to look. It is out there, but now you have to search, and we didn't have to search before. And I just tell people, stop being lazy. It's out there. We put out playlists, new music all the time. Like Cool G Rap just dropped something. Legend just dropped an album with my man Domingo. So my man Drez, Black Sheep put out an album last year with Stu Bangers. There's music out there. It's just, it's not going to come to us the way we're used to it. And if we're not going to put in the effort into it, we will always be sitting here as older cats. Music's dead, music's dead, music's dead. So we have to be willing to put the effort in. And some people don't want to do that. I mean, some people just don't. Some people want to turn on the radio and hear all. And then you can complain or then put on your own shit. But like, I made a list before of cats that are out now that unfortunately came out too late. And if they were in the 90s, their music would have been fucked. These niggas would be all-time legends, There's cats like that. So people have to be willing to look. You have to be willing to look. There's a lot of outlets out there. You got to be willing to sift through some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Because the blogs, how many times have you maybe researched you put in underground hip hop in the search bar, either in Google or on IG, and some bullshit comes up, right? Like because so you don't know what's gonna come up. You have to be willing to look, but it's out there, man. You know what I mean? Our platform, your platform, like it's out there, and I think that's really important. It's just that we can't be lazy, man.
Absolutely. You're the second person that I've had on the show that has told me that there are musicians out there. It's a matter of, as you said, you have to look. I was also heartened that I found a group of guys that started about 5 years ago here in New York City. I don't know if you know about them. They're celebrating their 10th year. And I want to salute them. Legendary Ciphers. Every last Wednesday of the month, they get together in Union Square Park in New York City, and they hold ciphers. Nice. And it's grown. They're known overseas now.
That's dope.
Right? Yeah, and they've been putting it down. But to get back to what you were saying, there are artists that are out there, but they're not mainstream, and you have to look. You definitely have to look.
Right.
There has to be like a central area that somebody who knows can like, all right, listen, if you're looking for breaking new artists that are in this lane, that spit, that are putting, music together, here's where to go. Like go to WARP or go to such.com and you can find artists.
So every week on our page, my wife pulls them every week. We pull new joints that get submitted to us via email for our Carrying the Culture Spotlight, and they're new joints every week. We have a Spotify playlist that's 5 hours long, month by month, for the last year and a half of all new joints. You know what I'm saying? For people that like new dope music. So, you know what I mean? There's stuff like that out there. It's just that, again, and unfortunately for these artists, look, there's no marketing machine behind these cats. There's no A&Rs. There's no street team. Nobody's out flyering and shit like that. You gotta hustle. So like, there's dope albums just sitting out on Spotify right now, man. It like got like maybe a few hundred streams that are like some of the dopest shit you ever heard in your life. But like, they market themselves wrong too. So the artists sometimes aren't even hustling. So it's it's a weird time to listen to music, man. Albums are shorter, songs are like two verses long. It's weird.
Like, it's definitely moving with the moment. And that's the segment you're talking about is the Wifey Wednesday joint.
Oh, well, we got this. The Carrying the Culture Spotlight is just new shit. Like,
okay.
There's this new music that the Wifey Wednesday joint. My wife takes over the page on Wednesday, and she posts like 8 joints or whatever that she wants to post. So those are, yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna have to make a link on that because I'm gonna bring that over to the set because I know a lot of people are starved out for music. They just don't know where to go. Myself being included. I'm stuck in my own shit as well. And, I'm willing to admit it. But when somebody makes a good reference and they're like, yo, check this artist out, I love it because I love music, period. You know what I'm saying?
It is very important for us because a lot of people, so when I started this, I'm an older dude. So it was like I gravitated towards the older, and I started older shit, and I started hearing other stuff. So this artist, yo, I can send you, and I send you shit. You be like, what the fuck is this? This who, you know? And that's what I get the most pleasure out of, because I was that dude on the porch, get off my lawn, win the rocking chair with the fucking lemonade and the shotgun. You know what I'm saying? The flannel shirt. Yeah, get off my lawn, Sonny. You know what I mean? Like 90s are bust. But like, yo, but on some real shit, it does a disservice to the artists out there that are really holding it down, man. I go hard. So our platform is twofold. It's preserving the values and the culture that I know. I mean, motherfuckers want to change shit. We'll talk about that later, maybe. But preserving the values and culture that I know and grew up with, and the music and the history and all of that stuff, while pushing it forward. Because otherwise, if we just talk about the 90s, fam, we are going to be dead, and that shit will die with it. So
absolutely,
it has to be somebody else carrying the torch, and so carrying the culture. So it's preserving, but at the same time, recognizing, acknowledging new music, new artists, younger artists. But think about it. For hip hop, some of the best music was made when cats were 15, 16, and 17 years old. So it's not about age, it's about quality. It always has been. Rakim, Buckshot, Black Moon, and cats were like 16. Rakim was 16. Like, these cats were young. Souls of Mischief had to get permission slips to fucking go on tour from high school.
Wow.
They had to get their parents' permission.
Wow.
So some of the 93 and that's a classic album, right? So my point is, you know, we really have to be willing to listen, to look and stuff like that. But it's out there, and it's just a different time, and we have to just adjust, yo. Just, you know what I mean? Yo, if you want, you could go down a rabbit hole of underground hip hop. I could send you on a quest of underground YouTube shit, and you'd be like, where did I just go? This was amazing. And that's the challenge. So I challenge accepted, man, because absolutely. I was the old dude, and I can't do that anymore because there's a lot of dope music out there. So I'm gonna put you on. I promise.
Yes, that's what we need. We need to bring that information to our platform as well, because again, I say there's a lot of people out there that are still, they just don't know where to look. But I wanna sort of shift gears, and let's talk about being in the place we are in our lives and seeing the things that we have going on in hip hop right now. And a lot of people, there's a lot of different personalities, Hassan Campbell and you know, guys like that. Do you think that hip hop needs sort of a coming to not a coming to Jesus moment, but actually a confrontation, if you would? Because there's many stories about people who are considered foundational hip hop members that have a lot of shit going on with them, and I think people are they're really afraid to have those honest conversations. And do you think that hurts the culture overall?
Yeah, of course. I mean, twofold. I mean, yes, people are afraid to have those conversations because here's what it does. Think about it. If you talk about Africa Bambaataa, who was instrumental in the early days of hip hop, we can't deny that. If you talk about Africa Bambaataa in a negative light, for a lot of people who aren't strong here and strong here, what it does is this. If I go hard at African Bambaataa, a lot of people take that as me saying, if you fuck with Africa Bambaataa, then you are this. And so what it does is it fucks with people's psyches because they put all of this energy, like we said, into these Africa Bambaataa, whoever. And so when somebody does have their fall from grace, as we are people and we're prone to do, then they can't fuck with that, because then it means that the shit that they believed in is kind of faulty. So a lot of people can't wrap their heads around that and are unwilling to accept that. No, it doesn't mean that. African Bambaataa did a lot for hip hop, but he's also a fucking pedophile. It is what it is. And you just got to fucking say that shit. So, but people don't want to, you know, people don't want to rock the boat, man. And it's crazy because also you got a lot of these motherfuckers in bed, literally and figuratively, with each other who don't want to say shit because they want to jump on a feature. They want something. They want to do this. They want to do that. Work with somebody or something later. Or, you know, so Yeah, it kills me that people with more juice, way more juice than I have, really don't want to say shit, don't want to rock the boat, and it's like all you hear is oh, the go-to fucked up shit is their contributions. So
Right.
you can do a lot of great things. You can do great things and still be an asshole and still be a piece of shit. That those both things, two things can be true at the same time. And so, like, it's not. Yeah, your contributions. Okay, Bam contributed. So, but you still was raping little boys. So, it's like, and I always say this, man. People always like, look at his contribution, look at his legacy. Legacy is your whole shit, fam. It's not just the shit that's convenient.
Right.
It's not
Absolutely.
the shit. It's not just the bad shit or the good shit, the shit that we want to talk about. It's the whole thing. It's your first album, it's your last album, it's everything in between, or whatever it is. If you're a basketball player, if you missed 3 seasons because of injury, that's your legacy. If you went to play baseball, that's your fucking legacy. Like, it's all part of it. And people want to like conveniently pick and choose at what's important. And it's like, nah, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I choose not to. So it's an unfortunate thing that's going on right now, man. The blind eye turning to bullshit. The quickness to call somebody a hater if you say anything about somebody who's a quote unquote legend. Most of these legends are fucking assholes, man. I've met a lot of these niggas. They are pieces of shit. A lot of these dudes are pieces of shit. They just are. Some of your biggest heroes, man, or quote unquote the biggest dudes are fucking assholes. I could write fucking book on this shit.
I think that listening to the way you summarize that, I think that a lot of quote unquote legends of hip hop have sort of created an Americanized lore of their legacy, right? It has to be unapproachable. You have to be infallible, right? And the minute you start poking at that legacy, it's like the whole thing means nothing when that's incorrect. We're humans. We're flawed creatures. And when I hear that story about Bam and how people sort of protect that, I think of Pun's legacy. Liza, his wife, respectfully, she told her story, and a lot of people gave her flack for that. And it's like, but wait, we all love Pun. And you know what? That's their personal business. And even though she told it, that was part of her healing process, it still doesn't stop us from loving who Pun was and what he brought, what he did, right? I mean, I didn't love him any less as an artist. Still, for me, one of the greats. Right. Absolutely. Like bar for bar. When you get on a track, and I've said this maybe 4 or 5 times, as an MC in this environment, when you get on a track with Black Thought, I'm sorry, like it's solidified. That's respect. Black Thought doesn't do music with just anybody, and he is of that caliber, right? So I think overall the honesty pill is not really popular for the hip hop culture right now. They don't want to deal with that, and it's sad. Just like MCs from our era, that's my question. Do you feel people you consider to be MCs are honest about the people who are popping now, their skill set?
I think there's 2 things that are at play, and I posted on one of them. I haven't really posted on the other. So one thing I think is that my thing is I've posted numerous times about older artists, legendary artists, co-signing, working with, taking pictures with. I don't give a fuck. These Cardi littles, fucks, little dick fucks, ass cracks, little tit juice, all these motherfuckers. I posted shit. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, how is Grand Wizard Theodore and Rakim like in this shit with like whoever? Ice fuck baby. No. And so I think the co-signing is quick because I think there's 2 things going on. One, niggas need money. And so cats need money. And so it's like, yo, okay, and so they can use their legendary status to like tie into some shit. Okay, boom. But I also think a lot of these cats are not really as connected as they used to be because they don't know. So you're connected, but you don't know about a lot of the new artists that are out right now that I would say are dope. So if you don't know, Rakim, who hasn't put out shit in years, or whomever, like he ain't not gonna know. So these cats, people are probably coming to him and saying, "Look, this is the next. This is who's hot right now." They don't. Rakim doesn't know about Mr. Underground MC that I'm talking about. He knows about whoever they're shoving in his face. So I think part of it's ignorance because I don't think a lot of these cats are as connected as we would like to think they are anymore. I don't think. You think like there's very few. I mean, like for instance, my man Elder Sensei Artifacts, he makes it a point to work with new artists all the time because he's trying to get new fans and it keeps him fresh, keeps him. You know what I'm saying? He's worked with my friend, like, but a lot. I don't think a lot of legendary dudes are in tune to what's coming out right now, other than what's on the radio.
Right.
So then there you have it. But I think it's a bad look, man. It's a black eye to me. It's a black eye for the culture. I just can't stand it. I saw a picture of Kid and Play the other day with Cardi B. I mean, that shit was crazy to me, man. Like, and he's saying they out there getting it. Like, what the fuck? It's like somebody got in the back of these motherfuckers' heads, yo, and like put a chip in there, and dudes are walking around. Cardi B is dope. You should fuck with her. And like, it's shit is retarded, man. I hate it, man. And but then the longer you see this shit, then you realize, for a lot of these cats, it's only about the bag. It's not about and even if they put out some joints that the culture remembers and some memorable joints that we remember, some dope joints, that doesn't mean they're still about the culture. They may just be using the culture, using their history and using their past to just eat, and that's okay. But that doesn't mean they're about the culture, though. We can't assume everybody's about this shit, man. Everybody ain't about this.
Absolutely.
Everybody, even the legends, they're not all about it. I'm convinced.
Do you think that they've suffered due to their own inability to change? Because I know there are artists, let's say Lords of the Underground, for me, when they came out, a lot of people took to them. I wasn't really hopped up on their move. I really wasn't. I'll be honest with you. But whatever, that's just my my personal preference.
Mm-hmm.
However, one of their members is like a city councilman now, right? Rappers, entertainers, people who have played a part in hip hop through the years have adapted and have changed and have, moved with their environment, created marketing companies, created, opened up studios, created clothing lines, so on and so forth. So I almost feel like some of these people have suffered, and as you said, they're not connected anymore because their inability to change, finding new ways to live within this culture that they love and be able to monetize it for themselves to make a living, right? I seen Rakim we went to Queens to the celebration. Dr. Dre, it was a Rock the Bells joint. I felt like I was at a PTA meeting. Like everybody was super, like 50 and up, right? And it was a wonderful thing to watch. Seeing Slick Rick with all his jewels on, fresh, Clark's, or his own custom shit on top of that.
Right.
Big Daddy Kane still jumping around stage dancing, bringing out his sons. Seeing Rakim for the second time in my entire life, who for me is at the top of the Mount Rushmore. Dr. Dre, cracking jokes. These are people who have found in one way, shape, or form, they found ways to monetize who they are to continue to make a life for themselves. And I feel like a lot of the people that like you're pointing to, right? Sometimes they get hindered and they're not able to shift and pivot. So since they can't, now they put, as you said, the little fucks in the and they don't know anything and they just go with it because they need that bag.
Right.
And I think that's been the downfall to it all.
Yeah. No, it's a big part of it too. I mean, but here's the thing I want to say about some of the artists, couple of artists you named, Rakim, who's my number 2 guy, and Big Daddy Kane. Here's my issue though, right? So you said they found a way to monetize and kind of keep them this shit going. Yes, that's great. However, I would like some more music, please. First of all, Rakim had like a 10-year gap in his career, which nobody really talks about. I'm like, yo, as much as I love you and everything, as far as from an artist perspective, like, that's still I appreciate longevity. I appreciate a G-Rap. I appreciate a Master Ace. Who guys, I mean, the Master Ace Marco Polo joint a couple years was good with Smith and Wesson. There's good music out there from these legends. So I have a problem with that. I have a problem with the fact that, like, you know what I'm saying? I love Big Daddy Kane, but I have a problem with the fact that he does the same set. It's 20 minutes everywhere he goes, and it's like set it off, boom, 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 and then he's out. And like, you know what I mean? Like, dude, make more music. I want to, because I respect you enough to still hear from you. I think you still got the pen game. I don't want to just hear. I don't want to see the NPR shit, man. Fuck the NPR shit.
You not feeling the NPR shit?
I mean, I don't want to. I'm saying I don't want to see that instead of new music. Like, right. I want music. I'm a fan. So maybe that makes me greedy and selfish. Okay, I want to hear your music. If you're still, because here's the thing. Because my thing is like, yo, if you ain't making music, then I don't want to just see the farewell shit. Then retire. Then hang it up. Yeah. If because you're out there, but not really. So as much as I fuck with Rakim, make a new album. 6. Yo, you know what the move is? You know what the move is now? What? 6 joints on an EP, 3 minutes long. Give us 18 minutes, Rakim. I'll fucking be happy. Like, come on, you can do an EP. I know you got some shit in the stash, something old shit, whatever. So that's my problem with a lot of the older cats staying relevant by just doing their old shit. Nah.
I waited my whole life, and it's funny because I've been to quite a few concerts. I was never able to catch Rakim, but I saw him for the first time this year at the Barclays, and I was like, wow, you know, because again, he's at the top of my Mount Rushmore. I think that he was so light years ahead of everything and everybody, and a lot of people sort of felt like he wasn't that cat because he didn't have party music, but they totally dismissed the fact that Eric B for President was like the Set It Off record when it dropped. That record did not stop playing. Eric B for President. Do you know that shit played every fucking day of my life when that shit dropped? Everywhere I went. And I ain't no joke. Like, he was just beyond what an MC is or supposed to be in the moment that he hit the ground. And it's true. He had that gap. I think that was legal issues between him and Eric B.
Yeah. Because
I think that contract, you know, whatever. I wasn't the one that signed it, but 50-50 on everything that you're not writing, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know what you're saying.
Who am I to say? But I agree. Put out some music. Big Daddy Kane, he did a feature. Joel Ortiz, what is Snow the Product, and the little white dude. Nice. It was a Logic. I forget who it was, but they did some like Halloween shit.
Oh, okay.
And Kane came off, and it was to the Set It Off beat. Like, they sampled Set It Off, and they did some other shit on top of it, and he went in. It was dope.
He's on Domingo. He's on G-Rap's new shit. There's a joint called Fly Till I Die with G-Rap. It's dope.
Oh, word?
Yeah. So on the new G-Rap. So, I mean, you know, I just want to hear shit, man. As a fan, if you still kind of active, then be active, man. Like give us, even every couple of years, just give us something, man. You know what I mean? Like
drop a jewel.
Yeah, just something. You know,
drop a single.
Something.
When he dropped, it was funny. I don't know if you had this experience. Rakim dropped So Contagious with, you know, he featured on that single. And I heard young dudes, yo, there's this new rapper, Rakim. Yo, he's great. And I'm like, do I tell them or do I stay shut? Because I'm gonna age myself right now.
Yeah, it's a different. They're not even understanding. The thing with Rakim is that if you look at from what I've read and what I agree with this, Rakim to me is the unofficial start. The Paid in Full is the unofficial start of the golden era, as far as the music goes, because we went from the early stuff, Melly Mel and all that, and the Busy Bee, the more basic elementary bars and then we got to like Run DMC and we got to Houdini, which I fucked with heavy, and we got to LL, which I fucked with heavy, Radio, and then Slick Rick and around, and then shit. So Rakim changed the game lyrically. Everybody had to be, because in that 87, By All Means Necessary and De La and everybody's coming out with some crazy shit. 88, we know, which was like the fucking like utopian year for hip hop. So Rakim to me, he started that shit, like he made everybody had pen game had to come up heavy. So
hey, speaking of which, you're bringing me back to Chuck D. I think is one of the most powerful influential voices that was way ahead of his time. He made people think, he made people remember, he put people in a very uncomfortable position. And the I'm not gonna say the downfall, the dismantling of Public Enemy, the way it happened with Professor Griff and all that bullshit that went on was fucking sad, to me at least. But I think about Chuck, who he is and what he represents. And I remember one day hearing on the radio, I don't know if you know who Rosenberg is. He's a radio personality out of New York. And he was like attacking Chuck D.
Are you a fan
of Rosenberg?
Yeah.
The radio personality?
Yeah.
Nah, fuck him.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not, just off that one thing. Honestly.
He's always that one thing.
He's always said some funny shit, and I was like, wait a minute, is this guy is he real?
So what did he say?
He would make comments about certain rappers, certain social issues, and I would always like, yo, who the fuck is this dude? But when he came at Chuck D, that was it for me. I was like, all right, you know what? I see you. I can't fuck with you. You a clown. Who is Chuck D? What? Who the fuck are you?
What did he say?
He basically said, Chuck D, you're nobody to be speaking for hip hop.
Oh, word?
Absolutely.
When was this?
This is about, I think, pre-COVID. It happened pre-COVID for sure.
Like said it to him or said it about him?
There was a conversation going around. Something happened. Chuck D had voiced his opinion about what was going on, and they were reacting to it. And Rosenberg was in a nutshell, like I'm paraphrasing, who elected you president of hip hop to be like, this is Chuck D we're talking about. He was here before you was even a thought. Chuck D changed young people's minds at the time in the 80s and what was going on. He provoked thought. He gave people a different understanding of who they were. He made them look at themselves differently. He gave them some self-respect, some dignity. You understand? So Chuck D isn't just some run-of-the-mill rapper. He was a fucking movement. He was a pioneer. Yeah. You can't. How the fuck do you say that about Chuck D? You know what I mean?
That's some goofy shit. I didn't hear that. I definitely would have definitely said some shit about that at the time. Had I heard that, that's some goofy shit. Yeah, man, that dude's a goofy, yo. That's why I asked if you liked him or whatever. I mean, he's there. See, here's the thing, and this is the setup, yo. Like family, like with when people with their shows, right? So again, dumbed down frequency. So rather than having, so even if you look at that show, I've seen it a couple of times with the, and they've had like legendary cats on there, big name cats. He's always there to provide the fucking comic relief, like, and he's always there to provide the quick witty, the quick witty shit. Nigga, shut the fuck up, yo. Like I hate shows like that have. Like this gotta it's hip hop. Like, why can't we just discuss the culture, discuss whatever it is we're discussing, the elements, whatever we're talking about? Why can't we just discuss it for what it is, and instead of trying to add some gimmicky shit? He's just there for gimmicks. Yeah, I know he's been around, and he knows music, knows some of this shit. I'm not gonna take everything away from him and say that, but he's a goofy because he can't, without some slick remark, he can't he's useless. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, speak like a fucking man and talk about this shit like a person, straightforward, and let's grow the culture. If you're really about it, like, why your shit always got to be fucking like, you know, some. That's the thing with a lot of these fucking platforms, man. Like, I'll tell you right now, straight up, you can leave this shit in. Like I don't fuck with Drink Champs. That shit is goofy. Nori got pulled, so he gets the best guests in the world. But I call it Drunk Champs. By the end of the shit, he's fucking wasted, like fucking slobbering all over himself. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, like fucking, you got Large Pro here, you got Q-Tip or whomever here, and like somebody was telling the story on Drink Champs the other day, legend. No, he's like past or whatever. He was just thinking about getting fucking wasted, man. So
it's fun. I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to touch on that as well. Speaking, you know, sort of delving into what I was saying earlier about being able to pivot to monetize who you are and still make a living within the culture because you love it. I've seen others make moves in media, podcasting, so on, right? Drink Champs in its inception, I found to be a good move. It was a different look. It was a little more, well, it was a lot more organic. They got some money. Shit is getting a little funny, as you said. Large Professor. Like, there's so many amazing guests that show us have that you can take so much and learn so much from. And they're wasted moments, as you said, just getting sloppy with it, right?
Right.
But then I look at guys like right now, Cam and Mace. I think their sports show that they've just inked a deal for is an amazing look, and I'm happy for them. I never was a fan of either of them as rappers. I thought they carved out their own niche, but I wasn't like a New Yorker geeked up. Yo, Cam, Mace. That was never me, right? But I like what they have been able to do. Then I look at Gilly and Wallow and their situation and what they were able to do for themselves. I like them. I find them entertaining, and their story makes them a little more palatable, if you would, right? But these guys, I feel, are more important than say like a Drink Champs because these guys aren't wasting their moment. You know, Nori, I think he's gotten to a place with DJ F and that he's starting to lose his grip on what he should be doing. He's more celebratory, if you would, right? But these guys that are making these moves like Gilly and Wallow, Mason, Cam, I think that you're going to find that their footprint and their impact is going to be a lot more powerful, and they're going to surpass somebody like Drink Champs.
That's a good point. I mean, I think that, you know, I didn't fuck with Mason Cam at all. Either that out there. I did have a funny interaction with Cam's mom online one time.
Oh wow,
that was hilarious. But so, and I told her, I said he's a better actor than MC. And so Cam's good. I love him and paid him for. I think he's definitely a better actor. So yeah, I think Mace is. I can't stand Mace, but from the point of what you're saying, you know, to your point about yes, I do like that show. I think it's a funny show. I do hate Mace so much it's hard for me to watch, but I think Cam's funny. I can't stand Mace show. I just
really,
yeah. I just
is it the hairline?
Just looking at him, I just want to punch him in the face. Like his face is just so punchable. Like and all that music he would put out that. You know, he was like, I'll be out Hershey, Jersey, Papa Hershey, brother. Like, it was just, I hated, listen.
Yeah, I hated that moment too.
I didn't fuck with Bad Boy, yo. I fucked with, like, we can talk Biggie if you want. Like, I didn't fuck with Bad Boy like that. I didn't fuck with fucking Junior Mafia and that shiny suit shit. I didn't fuck with Biggie's second album like that, man. That shit was, There was joints on the first album I didn't fuck with that heavy. Like okay. I'm like, this is a bit. I mean, I hate Juicy. I fucking hate that song, man. Like
super commercial.
I hate that shit. I hate More Money, More Problems. I hate all the shit he did with Puff, man. Like I fucks with Big, but like to me, his career was wasted, and I feel like we didn't get the best of Big. I feel like we got. I don't feel like we got the. You feel like we got the best of Biggie? Do you feel like the second? Look at you can can you sit here and tell me that second album is like
super legendary?
You pick it. When was the last time you picked it up?
Let me add some points here. One, I never liked Cam as an MC, but I respect the fuck out of his business acumen. 100%. I will say that. And as an actor, he is. He's a great actor.
He's a good actor. Yeah.
Biggie, I feel like Ready to Die was a smart business package. That's what I'm going to say. However, when you look at the material, you're talking about Biggie flexing crazy as best he could on a commercialized product. Now, Juicy is legendary because it talks to two parts. It talks to when you were a kid and you heard that original Matume record, right? And then it talks to you as a hip hop fan.
Yeah.
And Diddy, who I'm not a fan of at all, never have been, he was smart. He married those two things as he's done with a lot of his bad boy entourage, right? And the sad thing is that Bad Boy did have a lot of good MCs.
Yes.
But they were wasted writing for him.
Yes. Have you seen the movie, the documentary Crazy Like That Glue?
No.
You got to watch it.
The Craig Mack joint. I got to watch it. Yeah.
Okay, so look, you have to watch it because it explains a lot about Puffy in there. So
did you read Dance with the Devil?
I didn't read that.
You if you read that, it'll marry those two.
Right. Okay. So so Craig was a street dude and wasn't really fucking with Puffy like that. I mean, wasn't really trying to do that corny shit. And there's a time when there's a crazy story when like Puffy came into the meeting room with a top hat and a vest on or something, and Craig Mack was clowning him. And everybody said after that, he was like, look at this, look at this. And after that, Puffy switched up on him, froze him out and all that shit. But Big, they were saying, a lot of people were saying that were close to the situation, were saying that Big felt like he owed Puffy. So therefore, I mean, because look, Puffy had his hands all over Biggie's career. Imagine if let's think if Biggie got down, let's say he had met up with Mr. Walt and Evil D. Okay, thank you. Imagine if he had caught up with Primo heavy. Imagine if Big had caught up with Pete Rock heavy. But see what I'm saying? Puffy, like, you know what I'm saying, gave that nigga, put bread in that nigga's pocket, yo. So he did whatever Puffy said, yo. But like, I just don't feel like as dope as Biggie was, man. There's a lot of forgettable tracks that he's on where he might have ripped it, but I don't want to hear Puffy. What I don't want to see. Yeah. I don't want to see no Junior Mafia. I don't want to see no Puffy. No. We don't know.
Did you like any Junior Mafia joints? Any of them?
I mean, what's
throwing niggas off a cliff, smoking spliffs? Nah. Let me ask you this. Because we said the second album, Bone and Biggie.
Ugh.
Really? Ugh. Really? You really feel like that?
Ugh.
I thought it was. I thought. I'm gonna say this.
Yeah, it's all good.
I thought that track really showed his ability to fucking just do whatever, because he did take their style and their flow and made it his own. Yeah, and you were like, that was some work.
I think it was hard to do that. It just didn't appeal to me. Like, I didn't like sit in the car and like rock that shit. I didn't, man. It's tough for me because I was disappointed a lot. It's like if I look at an athlete, it's like you fuck with football.
Yeah.
It's like I look at a Randy Moss. To me, Randy Moss was had better talent than Jerry Rice, talent wise. But yeah,
that's a bold statement.
Yeah, but talent wise. But I mean, like up here, like he blew off some seasons and stuff. Or I look at an AI who famous practice rant, which is still, think about it, your practice is still how you get better. Like that rant is still fucked up to me. I love AI, but come on, man, like, you know what I mean? So I look at cats and so I look at AI. I'm like, we didn't even. I don't feel like we got the best of AI. Like I just look at Big. Again, total career, right? Not just unbelievable, not just the shit that parties and bull. I mean, I just look at and I look at Puff, and I get mad because I'm like, Puff, you had your greasy ass fucking hands all over Biggie's shit, and you
pause.
Yeah, and you had and fucking and you just running shit, yo. So
yeah,
I don't know, but we'll never know,
Yeah. It's an interesting point that you made because you just made me imagine a whole Biggie album like a Nas album, Nas's first album with all those producers. Imagine if we had gotten a Biggie album in that vein.
Right.
What would have been?
Because we could have. Imagine if we got more joints like The What and Unbelievable and less joints like More Money, More Problems. That's what I'm saying. Absolutely. I'm not taking anything away from Biggie's skill or anything like that.
No.
I'm just saying, but my point is he was that nice.
He was.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like, again, I want more of The What and less of More Money, More B-I-G-G-I. Yeah. Nah, man. Nah. That shit after a while, yo, you just like.
You feel like you wanted more. You wanted Biggie to be what Pun was on his first album.
I wanted Biggie to be who he really was because I don't believe that Puffy gave us who Biggie really was. Biggie was a Brooklyn Bed-Stuy nigga, he wasn't no fucking Andre Harrell Uptown nigga. He wasn't no fucking Flossy nigga. He wasn't, you know what I'm saying? No, he wasn't Puff. Puff ended up making Biggie a fat Puff. That's what I'm saying. Like Biggie was a Brooklyn Bed-Stuy nigga all day, and then by the time we get in some fucking, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. We know what Biggie was, and so therefore, like I didn't see enough of that. I saw more Puff and less Big.
Well, in that very same feeling, we were lucky to get D-Block because remember, the Locks was stuck with Puff, and he was trying to push them in that way too. And if they hadn't broken away and gone the direction that they gone, we wouldn't have got all the memorable shit that we got after they left Bad Boy.
That's a good point. And to that point, I didn't fuck with the Locks when they was with Puffy. And I didn't start fucking with the Locks. I didn't start fucking with the Locks until way late, because anything that Puffy touched that he had his hands over, I wasn't really messing with, man, like that. And again, by the second Biggie album and all that Lil' Kim shit and all that stuff and that whole just the making of the band. And by the time Puffy was Puff and Diddy and all that shit, I was done. So yeah, I mean, whenever, I don't know when the Locks came out, but I wasn't fucking when they was with Puff, man. And you know what I'm saying? I was like, So, I fucks with them, but not. You know.
When I heard Reservoir Dogs, I was like, yo, these motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying?
They didn't fit.
That is what they need to be. Like, this is who they are, and this is how this is how they should be coming out. Not that shit. Not that. Even though it's all about the Benjamins, musically, that guitar shit was crazy.
Yo,
but the packaging was.
Yeah, imagine if it was something niggas was spitting something real over all about the Benjamins, like or that beat, like fuck all about the Benjamins, man. Like, you know what I mean? That was. Listen, I blame Puffy in the East, and I blame Master P and Cash and No Limit and Cash Money for the downfall of hip hop music, man. And Dipset as well. I personally look at them as I look at '97 as a pivotal year, Biggie shit, and I look at all of them as critical aspects of the decline of our music. Puffy, Master P, and that Cash Money fucking blinged out album cover, back that ass up bullshit. Like and
That was sort of like the linchpin moment for us.
Yeah, to me that was it, man. They look at Lil Wayne. They look at Lil Wayne as their fucking goat. He's the trap. He's the mumble rap emperor, as far as I'm concerned. He's the Goblin King. That's he's the dude. He spawned all that shit, man. And people say they all want to look like him and be like him. You got people telling me, and I'm seeing all over the place, Lil Wayne and GOAT in the same sentence. You got to be dusted. We came up in the 90s. I smoked some dust for a minute. Yo, you got to be dusted. You're dusted. Trust me. Because I seen a nigga count $160 for 6 hours on where he was dusted. So maybe that's it. I give you the benefit of the doubt. You're dusted if you think Lil Wayne is top anything. Stop it. Stop that shit, man. So don't get me going, man.
It's more of a thing where let me say this. I think Lil Wayne can write.
What?
No. Hold on. Just hear me out. See if you stay with me.
I'm gonna try.
I think Lil Wayne as an MC can write. Did he start that way? Absolutely not. He grew into that, right? However, it's like food. Do I want McDonald's? No, I don't want McDonald's. I want mom's home cooking. You know what I'm saying? She's going out and getting the vegetables and the produce and the proper shit and seasoning it and marinating and cooking for, you know what I'm saying? That's not Lil Wayne to me. So I respect his penmanship to the degree that he, in the lane that he's created for himself, but GOAT? Nah, no way. Absolutely not.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
You're bigger than me. I mean, I you know, but I mean, that's each his own. I mean, yeah, I mean, I just think the point. I mean, for me, there was when I look at that '97, when I look at Puffy, and I look at a lot of that stuff, Dipset, and I look at the Dipset anthem and that shit. That shit has got to be some of the goofiest shit I've ever seen in my life. Even back then, man, that Dipset anthem is trash. That shit is whack. That pink shit. Santana set, who you with? Fuck out of here, man. That shit is retarded. Have you seen Jay Farrell from Saturday Night Live? Do the Cameron shit? Yeah. Yeah. Cookies and apple juice.
Yo, let me ask you a question, because in all fairness, like I told you earlier, I've never been a Cam fan as a rapper, right? Did you respect the production? Did you at least like the production? Because I'm big on beats too. Like music is important.
But for me, brother, you know what I'm saying? I can only listen to complete songs. I can if you ask me to analyze a song, I could say, yeah, that some of that was it Heat Makers, and shit. I think Just Blaze was doing some shit. Yeah. I definitely thought some of the beats were dope, but I can't compartmentalize like that. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I can't sit there and listen to that shit while I'm knowing when I'm listening to Cam. Like so my brain won't allow me to put the two together. So I can acknowledge that it was definitely good production, but I could never sit there and listen to it solely based on the production, because to me they both have to match. But yeah, no, the production was fire. The production was, a lot of it was fire. And that's why I was so disappointed by the nursery rhyme fucking bars on there, like in the fucking Jack Sprat could eat no, you know what I mean? Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, that was some Kane, that was some Grimm's Fable shit, man, or whatever the fuck, man. Like, you know, nighttime story, nursery rhymes for baby. We're gonna tuck you in now. We're tucking you in now, honey. We're gonna read you some Cameron. We're gonna read you some Cameron to go to bed now, honey. What the fuck? Come on, family. Yo. By the way, I got 10 minutes because I gotta do something.
No. We about to close up.
Okay.
I wanted to tell you this because there was a reason why I asked you that. I remember listening to younger dudes around this time now speak about music in that way. You don't like that song, but that beat is crazy. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, there's no one without the other.
Of course not.
And if the beat is great and the writing is trash, then it's a wasted opportunity and it's a wasted beat.
And vice versa.
Right.
Vice versa.
So what are we talking about here? Like, people don't, I feel like that's another thing that was lost in this moment. People don't approach music or think about it in the ways that we were grown and matured into, listening to music. Because you got to think about it. We grew up in the era of hip hop, but we also had R&B, soul music. Around the time we were born and growing up, there was disco, there was this, there was that. There was all different variations that you got from your parents, but your ear was different. So when you listen to hip hop and it's from its inception to the golden era, you're listening sonically. And I know you dabbled in production, so you hear elements differently than other people hear, right? And you listen differently. I think this generation now, they don't hear none of that shit.
No, because for a couple of reasons, like there's the time factor. They don't want to hear. It's quicker. Everything's quick, fast, boom, 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 boom. So no, it's quick. You make the next. You said microwave. That's what's going on. Yeah, we listen differently. We were a part of this. I mean, I dabbled in production, so I definitely listened differently. And sonically, we had, like you said, we had all those. So look, hip hop is an amalgamation of soul, funk, jazz. If you're from the islands, salsa, dance hall, like, right? And we took from that and made it our shit. That's why you got house hip hop tracks, dance hall hip hop tracks from back in the day. Take It Easy. You got Freaks with Lil Vicious and Dougie Fresh. You got shit like that, right? Beatboxing. And this generation is not only not looking at the previous generation as far as an influence, they're like saying, fuck y'all niggas. Like, you know what I'm saying? We took from this shit and appreciated. We grew up, mom's cleaning the house to whatever, Donna Summer or whatever the fuck it is. Now it's like, nah, fuck y'all, man. We don't want to be like y'all old niggas. Da, 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 da. So there's no, I mean, and everybody's not like that, but right. that's a common thing that's there. So you know what I mean? That's the big difference. We took it all and made it our shit, and it was an appreciation for it. We know the old samples. You know what I mean? They're not taking our shit. Nobody's sampling Premiere, or nobody's sampling or taking shit and trying to be like anything from the 90s. They're trying to get as far away from that as possible. The current generation.
Absolutely. And that's a sad thing. what are we gonna do?
But that's why we're here, though. Yo, here's the thing: you just make a little noise, man. And for me, I have young people on my page that are like really about it, yo, and they fuck with hip hop, and they're outcasts in their social group because they're like, yo, why you all fucking what this old people shit? So yeah, so they're like outcasts. They're the fucking nerds now because they're fucking with 90s shit. We think they fucking with the real shit. They're going through high school getting clowned because they don't fuck with the little whoever's. Yeah. Wow. So we gotta protect them and nurture whoever's about it, man, and continue to present the real shit. Because there are young people that they really want this and stuff like that. But it's a challenge. But yo, we just keep plugging away, man. You know what I mean? We just keep doing it. We do our part. I rest easy at night knowing that I fought the good fight the day before, man. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So listen, the reality is I'm sure we could talk for like 2 more hours. Oh, of course. But I know you pressed for time. I myself have cut off as well. Yes, but sir. First and foremost, I want to thank you for giving me your time, man. It was a great conversation. 2, slide me those locations where we could start posting up some hip hop so I could share some on my page. I really like to share that with the audience. And 3, just sit tight for 1 second as I close this out so I can get some information for you that I can't, really record. I don't want to share with the world. Of course. If you would. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, from carrying the culture.
Thank you, man.
Mr. Tamal.
Thank you. Appreciate you, man. I mean, it was fun. Giving me the platform just to run my mouth, man. I mean, and like-minded shit. And Bill, I'm glad I got to, I like it. So it was fun for me. Thank you.
Absolutely. We appreciate you. Sit tight. All right, brother?
Whoa.
Ladies and gentlemen, as always, I'm your host, Mr. A. Another great spirited conversation. I really want to thank Tamal for giving me this time. You know, I appreciate that he was open and honest about how he feels. I mean, that's what I brought him here to do. And I hope everybody enjoys the conversation. We're going to see you on the next one. Till then, the set 6145, real people telling real stories.